Countdown to a historic crossing. VIP invitations now out for the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the Gordie Howe International Bridge. A LaSalle man pleads not guilty in first-degree murder in a case tied to his wife's relationship with another man. And surviving the swelter.
I feel dizzy, I feel dehydrated, I feel almost like a close to panic attack.
Staying cool and safe this week.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. After years of waiting, we now officially know the much-anticipated opening date for the Gordie Howe International Bridge. CTV's Sanjay Maru joining me now. So, Sanjay, you have the answer for us tonight.
That's right. Multiple sources tell me that the Gordie Howe International Bridge is set to open this Monday at 6 in the morning. Now, this milestone will actually be celebrated a few days beforehand. This coming Friday, a special ribbon-cutting ceremony on the middle of the bridge, and already hundreds of invites have been sent out.
Monday morning, the Gordie Howe International Bridge will finally open to traffic. But the celebration starts 3 days earlier. Around 500 invites have been sent out for a ribbon-cutting ceremony, a joint celebration between the U.S. and Canada to take place on the middle of the bridge. The guest list includes Ontario Premier Doug Ford, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, former Governor Rick Snyder, and the family of the late hockey legend Gordie Howe, whom the bridge is named after. Stephen Harper, who was Prime Minister when this project was formally announced back in 2012, may be invited, but that's not confirmed. The immediate future of the bridge was cast in doubt when U.S. President Donald Trump insisted in February his country would have to be compensated before he would allow it to open. Prime Minister Mark Carney has not said whether Canada offered any concessions to get the bridge opened.
It's positive news, a symbol, but also a fact of cooperation between our countries. I just want to salute those who constructed it on both sides.
Both economies are going to boom.
CTV News reached out to all 3 federal MPs in Windsor, Essex. The offices of Kathy Borelli of Windsor-Tecumseh Lakeshore and Harb Gill of Windsor West say they have not received an invite to Friday's ribbon cutting. Fellow Conservative MP Chris Lewis of Essex did not respond to our request for comment. But another person who did receive an invite, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins.
It's great for our local economy, being the home to the busiest commercial border crossing between the U.S. and Canada. It's great for our economy. It's great for the auto industry. It will be the bridge that is the most friction-free in terms of crossing at the border. But it's also great for the community. And you think of the ability to ride your bike or walk across this bridge. It's something we haven't been able to do here for many, many decades.
Now, things could still shift because of the multiple governments involved, and we're told system testing, Stefanie, is still underway, with particular focus on ensuring the bridge can stand up to the major heat and the humidity the Windsor area has been experiencing ahead of this historic, highly anticipated opening on Monday.
It truly is historic, and of course we will be covering every moment from beginning to end of that opening ceremony.
That's right. In fact, on the day of that ribbon-cutting ceremony on Friday, we will have full team coverage. And on a personal note, I just want to say I'm honored to be part of this team on such a historic milestone.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Okay, Sanjay Maru with our top story. Exciting historical news. Thank you. Now, several sectors will benefit from the ease of crossing the new bridge, including truckers carrying Canadian goods. CTV's Adrian Gobriel looks into that aspect of trade and cooperation between the two nations.
Spanning 2.5 kilometers across the banks of the Detroit River, the new Gordie Howe Bridge has sat idle. That is about to change.
It's been 25 years in the making. I'm happy to hear this.
The old Ambassador Bridge has been the only crossing and the busiest along the Canada-U.S. border for years. More than $390 million in trade traverses the route each day, representing 26% of Canada's exports and 33% of all imports by road. Here inside CSA Transportation, freight is moved into hundreds of big rigs that cross into the United States every day with increasing difficulty.
It's expensive, really long lineups, so it's caused delays in moving freight cross-border.
How important is another border crossing, another bridge for your industry?
Trucks that are crossing the border, it won't be as long waits. It'll be cost-effective for them, and if it's more cost-effective for them, then that passes on to the consumer.
Detroit and Windsor, Ontario have been bound by two automotive economies.
There's $100 million worth of auto parts that goes across that bridge in either direction every single day.
The president of Canada's Auto Parts Manufacturing Association shares his belief that the new bridge will remove a bottleneck at the border with more direct routes to market.
The route to this bridge is in from a highway, out to a highway. Anytime you can improve those processes in public infrastructure, you're winning.
For the mayor of Canada's automotive capital, the pending opening is a victory years in the making.
Being able to have certainty in crossing the border is imperative for this auto industry and parts sector to work seamlessly. It's going to be great for commerce, great for community.
The consensus among multiple industry leaders we spoke with today is that less wait times at the border and cheaper tolls should deliver savings for Canadians. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News.
Here's our question of the day. Are you excited for the Gordie Howe Bridge to open? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you enjoy going to local farmers markets. Almost 600 people voted. 71% say yes, they do. In other news, a jury trial started today into a 2024 murder in Lakeshore. Today, the jury heard the shooting happened within hours of a LaSalle man discovering his wife's relationship with the victim. Our Michelle Molesky joins us in studio with the details on this tonight. Michelle.
Stefanie, 49-year-old Glenn Mayer has pleaded not guilty to a single charge of first-degree murder. A jury of 6 men and 8 women will decide his fate for a shooting more than 2 years ago. 47-year-old Tony Bashara was shot and killed on January 20th, 2024, inside his home in Lakeshore. Today, in opening statements, the jury learned the shooting happened 2 hours after Mayer learned his wife was in an extramarital affair with Bashara. The Crown says they will present evidence about text messages Mayer allegedly sent to Bashara from his wife's phone that morning. "Everyone loses today," Mayer allegedly texted. "I'll speed up your karma. You should know better." The Crown says Mayer drove from his home in LaSalle to Bashara's in Lakeshore. Once there, they say video surveillance will show Mayer entering Bashara's home from the rear sliding door. That same footage captured the sound of 3 loud bangs, similar to gunshots, the Crown says. The jury has learned this handgun was found by police in the kitchen sink of Bashara's home. It is a legally registered handgun belonging to Glenn Mayer. A kitchen knife was also photographed on the floor of the kitchen with Mayer's fingerprints on it. The Crown also plans to show footage from inside LaSalle Police Headquarters 3 hours after the shooting. "It's murder. I'm involved," Mayer allegedly said to a police employee. The first OPP officers to arrive on scene today told the jury this morning he knew Tony Bashara on a personal level. Constable Hardy testified that he tried to save Bashara's life by performing CPR. Tony Bashara was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The trial continues tomorrow and it's expected to last for a month. Stefanie.
Okay, thank you for this, Michelle. Also tonight, a Windsor man has been sentenced to house arrest for selling cocaine to undercover officers. 44-year-old Daniel Harrison unknowingly sold 1.4 grams of cocaine to police in April of 2024. Court learned he was selling the drugs to fuel his cocaine addiction. He has since started counseling for mental health and addictions. This morning, he was sentenced to 2 years less a day house arrest and 1 year probation. A 21-year-old man is facing charges of assault and sexual assault of a minor. Windsor police say on Sunday night, a 15-year-old girl was led by a male acquaintance to a secluded area of a park where she was sexually assaulted. Police say the man struck the girl in the face when she asked him to stop. She was taken to hospital for treatment. Let's take a break now. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us now for a first look at the weather tonight. Gary, we're talking about a heat warning.
Heat warning in place, Stefanie. Good evening, folks. We are warm, we are humid, we are active because of this area of low pressure, a good sweep of moisture and activity. Showers, thunderstorms stretching from West Virginia, Virginia state proper, northward to Michigan, southern Ontario, where it counts most for us. Upper Michigan getting hammered earlier this afternoon. We got into moderate to heavy rains around 3 o'clock in Windsor. We're still in and out of showers tonight. gusty winds and a heat warning, which means it's going to feel really warm and muggy. Air quality to diminish. We'll break down what you need to know just ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
And as Gary just mentioned, it's sticky, it's heavy, and the humidity is not going away anytime soon. We take a look at how people are getting through the heat.
I feel dizzy, I feel dehydrated, I feel almost like a close to panic attack.
Disappointment for Oleg, who traveled from Toronto to experience what Windsor and Detroit have to offer.
It's 40, feels like 44 in Detroit. So our plan is ruined. I'm trying to make nice face, right, but I can't, unfortunately. So yes, it's very humid, it's very hot, and very, very unpleasant. I have water in my car.
He's not the only one trying to keep cool during this humidity.
Mainly like frequent water breaks and just kind of stepping into an air-conditioned space for a bit to just like cool off and take care of yourself mainly.
Know when to stop and just bring a lot of water with you.
Weather experts say previous temperatures make up for what we are now dealing with.
I don't think anyone should be complaining because the last 14 days have been beautiful and comfortable. It has been summer-like but pleasant.
Windsor police are reminding drivers not to keep pets in the car, and if you come across an animal in a vehicle, do not take matters into your own hands.
A civilian that is not a provincial animal welfare inspector or a police officer doesn't have the authority to break a window and can actually be charged with mischief. Even though they're trying to rescue an animal. So please give us a call and we will take care of it.
According to the Canada Safety Council, the temperature inside a previous air-conditioned vehicle could go from 35 to 50 degrees Celsius in 20 minutes. And someone deemed guilty of leaving a pet in danger could be slapped with up to 2 years in jail and or a $10,000 fine. As for Oleg, a final plea to the public.
Please drink the water, stay cool, stay in the car, and don't try to be a hero.
Ottawa is expected to join Australia and France banning social media for kids under 16. The proposed Online Safety Act could be introduced as early as tomorrow. Here's CTV's Judy Trin on how it would work.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
4.
I've seen anywhere from like 3 to 6.
Every student on this grade 8 school field trip spends hours on their phone daily. Most give a social media ban for kids under 16 a failing mark.
It's like a way for them to communicate and like get friends other than like friends at school. If you post a video or something like that and people put comments, it can like boost your confidence.
If you do ban it, I feel like they definitely find much more unsafe ways to get around it. That would just be more harmful to the kids.
But the culture minister is expected to table a new digital safety bill on Wednesday.
We will take all reasonable measures to make sure kids are safe in this country. I think it's obvious why it's a priority. Kids are dying.
A federal digital regulator would be appointed to set safety standards. In addition to the age limit, social media companies would be required to remove child sexual abuse material and reduce exposure to content that encourages children to hurt themselves. But experts worry the bill could backfire.
Implementing a ban is enormously difficult. It costs a lot of resources, requires a lot on the enforcement front, etc.
There's concern that age verification could violate privacy and block student access to educational material. But this teacher supports a ban because she needs more tools to control social media use in the classroom and at home.
I just feel like kids need a little bit more guidance and restriction at this age. They're at a pivotal time in their life when they are forming rights and wrongs, and I just feel like it opens up Pandora's box.
The Liberals have been trying to introduce legislation to protect children from online harms for 7 years. They now have a majority, but there isn't enough time to pass the bill before Parliament rises for the summer. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Kingsville Council has unanimously approved a 50% reduction in development charges for the next 3 years. A new federal provincial infrastructure program could cover up to 90% of shovel-ready sewer and wastewater projects valued at around $60 to $65 million. Town staff say the upgrades are urgent, with the wastewater treatment plant already operating above 90% capacity. And on Monday, the town of Amherstburg will discuss the same option to slash development charges. From climbing hop vines to climbing the turnbuckles, two Chatham-Kent breweries are finding unique ways to raise money for Chatham-Kent Hospice. CTV's Chris Campbell reports.
It starts with a race to the top. At Red Barn Brewing, hop vines are climbing skyward. And for a donation, supporters can adopt one, give it a name, and cheer it on all summer long.
The idea is customers can come in, donate minimum $25, and they get to go through the hop yard and pick whichever hop they think will be the quickest to the top. And yeah, it's just raising money for a great cause.
The idea had been brewing for years before finally taking root. Proceeds will support Chatham-Kent Hospice.
Everyone seems to rally behind the hospice. It's such a great cause.
Not far away, another local brewery is taking a very different approach. Instead of hops, there will be headlocks. Sons of Kent is teaming up with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling for Headlocks for Hospice, bringing live wrestling action to the brewery's backyard in July.
We want people to come and enjoy themselves, enjoy their wrestling, enjoy some cold beverages, some good food, some laughs, and also the donation to the hospice.
Connecting those two worlds is Jay Smith. By day, he's the fundraising manager for the Chatham-Kent Hospice Foundation, and on wrestling nights, he's a Maple Leaf Pro referee.
I've been waiting for the day my two worlds would collide here, so very interesting. We have a very supportive community, always giving back to Chatham-Kent Hospice and so many nonprofits. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling comes to Sons of Kent in support of Chatham-Kent Hospice, July 24th.
For Maple Leaf Pro President Scott Demore, the event is about more than putting on a show.
Hospice is something that you don't realize how important and how valuable and how special hospice is until, unfortunately, you have to deal with it, yourself or with somebody that you care deeply about.
And whether it's cheering on a hop vine or cheering inside a wrestling ring, community-led fundraisers have become a vital source of support.
So this community fundraisers made up almost $400,000 in revenue to support the Chatham-Kent Hospice, and to think about that in context, it takes around $2.5 million. This year, maybe $2.7 million.
With nearly 50 community-run fundraisers held over the past year, hospice officials say every dollar helps provide care for local families when they need it most. In Chatham, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Troubling questions after an Air Canada pilot is accused of flying for years without the proper license, what investigators are now uncovering. Windsor is celebrating a brand new turf field, but could its location be a sign of more to come? The answer when we return. And tomorrow, a game changer for Windsor. As the Gordie Howe Bridge prepares to open, what will less truck traffic mean for Huron Church Road? That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. It's a story that, in the words of police, reads like a movie script. Allegations an Air Canada pilot flew hundreds of commercial flights over 17 years without proper license. CTV's John Woodward on how he went undetected for so long.
This investigation and the details surrounding it read like a movie script.
But police say this fraud was very real. An Air Canada pilot flying for decades, captaining planes full of passengers like 767s and 777s that he wasn't licensed to do.
During that time, he captained over 900 domestic flights, earning millions of dollars in salary for those captaining flights, but also flew tens of thousands of passengers.
Charged with fraud and forgery is Jeff Wall, who a posted biography with Ontario's Georgian College says once flew with Canada's Armed Forces and helped connect future pilots with careers as a part-time employee.
Canadian airlines are safe.
That's video of Wall in 2015 sitting down for an interview on CTV's Canada AM. He was the chair of the Air Canada Pilots Association during the period Peel police say he wasn't licensed. Air Canada said in a statement, despite the licensing problem, he was competent to fly, saying safety was not compromised by this incident because all pilots at Air Canada undergo mandatory recurrent training every 6 months to validate their flying competency.
I'm going to show you this. This is mine, actually.
CTV aviation expert Phil Dirty said every year or more a pilot has to show his license to what's called a check pilot, a person working for Transport Canada. But there's apparently no cross-referencing that with government databases.
So, you're taking it at face value, but when the medical is done, then it should be checked there. And then also with the database at Transport Canada, it should also be checked at that point as well.
Police say it was a regular check in March of 2025 that finally flagged the license. Air Canada called in Transport Canada, which reviewed the situation, and then they called the police. Police allege that Wall made a false police report to them to cover his tracks. Wall hasn't responded to messages from CTV News. He's considered innocent until proven guilty and did have a lower standard of pilot's license. John Woodward, CTV News, Mississauga.
Ontario's premier is on a charm offensive in Washington, D.C. in advance of CUSMA trade talks. And Doug Ford says the Americans rolled out the red carpet. CTV's Abigail Beeman on what was discussed.
What is Fortress North America? Well, Fortress North America is about encouraging people to invest more in both countries.
Doug Ford in D.C. selling not just his province, but his new Fortress North America plan. He echoed federal Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc. He feels optimistic about a renewal of the North American Trade Pact and downplayed his canceled reception with American billionaire Ross Perot Jr.
We have been jammed, meeting everyone down here. They've rolled out the red carpet for us. They treat us so well. My message to everyone, we love Americans. We love the U.S., and I know Americans love Canadians. Let's get a deal done.
Ford said he was meeting 4 lawmakers today and has no plans to back down yet from the booze ban that's a real irritant for Americans.
I just want to get this deal done, and then we'll put that booze back on the shelves, and we welcome everyone. Maybe we'll have a little drink of Kentucky bourbon or something in Ontario.
The premier has also been a contentious player in the Canada-U.S. relationship.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
With the president calling off trade talks after Ontario aired this ad. Ford said he had a positive chat with LeBlanc ahead of his trip. Other ministers portrayed a united front today.
You know, it's always good to have Team Canada talking about the benefit of the relationship.
Tariffs are really, really hurting a lot of Ontarians and a lot of Canadians. And I think it's important that we talk to American leaders across the U.S. I'll be going to the U.S. this summer. There will be many of us that will be going.
Premier Ford has taken a very positive approach, almost conciliatory, compared to other statements that we've seen in the past. So pour a little sugar on it.
LeBlanc had said he's set to speak with United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer at some point this week. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Soccer remains the most popular sport in Windsor, Essex, with more than 9,000 registered players, more than hockey, baseball, and football combined. Last night, the city celebrated the opening of a new turf field, a project that's already raising questions about what's next for the growing sports hub. Here's Bob Belichico.
There you have it. The city of Windsor officially owns a turf field.
It's a FIFA-approved, dimensionally and quality-approved field.
Essex County Soccer Association President Joe Brill says the field complies with FIFA standards, including field dimensions, surface, lighting, benches, and goals.
So if we happen to host an international game, it's approved. If we happen to host a televised game, the lighting has been put in place to televise games.
Brill says Windsor is the last city in Ontario with a population of over 200,000 to have a municipally owned turf field. However, many wondered why the turf was at the back end of McHugh Park. The answer? The field is only phase 1.
Phase 2 is a broader vision of converting other fields into turf fields.
Burrell says Phase 2 includes a soccer-specific stadium.
Yes, we have the college, we have the university, but we don't have a municipally owned. And as we know, we just lost Windsor Stadium. That used to be the premier facility in the city of Windsor back in the day.
Burrell says it took 4 years of planning and partnership between the ECSA, the city, and province to get here. Now, the soccer community is working towards bringing Phase 2 to life.
Now we're rebuilding the vision to see if we can recreate that in a modified manner.
Of course, that comes down to dollars and cents and partnerships, but we will continue to look at the provincial programs. The minister today talked about how he's opening up more funding in future budgets to be able to support more sport-type events and initiatives in communities.
Generally, the results are pretty good when you put the work in. Like anything else, it comes out, and they came out, obviously the first time through CSCRIF, successful. We're standing on it.
Minister of Sport Neil Lumsden expects Windsor to make another pitch for funding when that window opens.
If I'm guessing, they're going to do a great job. Just the people that I know who are involved, but that doesn't mean other people won't as well. So I love competition. It'll be fun to see what happens.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
And of course, the countdown to the FIFA World Cup is officially on, with the first game in Canada happening on Friday. Our city is also gearing up for a FIFA-sanctioned event in our downtown core.
Because of the scale it is, and at the timing being right at the tail end of the World Cup, we're expecting large audiences to come in and check this out. And I think it's going to be a lot bigger than people are anticipating, which we're really excited for.
Downtown Windsor will catch World Cup fever on July 15th when FIFA brings their Canada Celebrates tour to town. The free-to-the-public event will feature a 3 p.m. quarterfinal game on a big screen, a multitude of themed activations, cultural programming, music, and food. The event will close a section of University Avenue, including City Hall Square and Charles Clark Square. Windsor is one of 40 stops countrywide. Canada's main stock index was down as the price of oil fell. In Toronto, the TSX fell 67 points. In New York, the Dow added 86, the Nasdaq dropped 251. The Canadian dollar was unchanged at the end of trading. On commodity markets, gold lost $77 an ounce and oil slipped more than $3 a barrel. Think vaping is harmless? Coming up, a new study links it to heart and lung problems in young adults.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Mike Town for this image. If you've got one, text it to us at 10400. Just ahead, we'll warmer, humid, and stormy weather be in store tonight and tomorrow, along with this heat warning. We'll break down what you need to know next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
The rain to add to it, humidity. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the forecast. Gary.
You're right. Stefanie, speaking of humidity, obviously up with the rain showers and area vicinity thunder shower activity. We are technically in a heat warning, which is to begin Wednesday, tomorrow, where temperatures will be in that 30 to 32 range, feeling like 35 to 40, maybe 42. So we caution everyone to stay hydrated. Try not to overdo it when outdoors. It is going to be, I think, a situation where air quality will deteriorate as well. Right now, it's between a 3-4, which is relatively decent, but anticipate that to go down as we head towards tomorrow, Thursday, maybe even Friday. Temperatures hovering between 26 and 27 with intermittent showers across the region, and the humidex values, well, I mentioned we had a nice stretch where it was warm and not very humid, therefore comfortable. Now it is warm, active, and, well, stuffy, muggy out there. 34 is what it feels like in Chatham-Kent, close to 39 at the airport in Windsor. It is warm across parts of the prairie still. Winnipeg is at 31. colder in Thunder Bay at 17, then Southern Ontario proper. We're in the mid-20s, mid to upper 20s. We've been experiencing showers. We are in and out of showers. We saw the showers moving in with the first wave at around 3 o'clock. Got a bit of a nice break around 4 p.m. and now into showers through 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9, 10 intermittently. With thunderstorm potential, pockets in behind the initial wave will still threaten through to about 2, 3, maybe even 4 a.m. Rainfall tallies, well, we need this rain, right? It's been a rather dry stretch. And with that, the growers in the community, of course, across southwestern Ontario will appreciate it. Of course, your lawns probably are stressed and somewhat parched. Take a look at our 7-day forecast. So it is stormy for the next 24 hours intermittently. It will be very warm tomorrow, feeling like 41. The actual temperature 31, our average temperature 24. 32 could feel like 40 on Thursday. Good chance of showers. Friday, Saturday, Sunday will go from 31 to 29 to 26. Showery. Definitely Friday, Sunday, I think, and then Monday, Tuesday, 24 and 24, and fairer weather, which means we are back to seasonal. That's a look at your 7-day forecast, courtesy of Enercare Siles.
A new national report says chronic pain among women and especially female veterans needs to be addressed immediately. As CTV health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, the report came out of a meeting of leading researchers, patients, and policymakers.
Hélène Lassalère never experienced chronic pain during her 26 years with the military, but she did after.
Injuries in Afghanistan also. I had like a traumatic birth also. So a lot of things contributed to that. It's not only one thing.
And while Canada's military health care is comprehensive, she says the civilian system is fragmented and challenging for chronic pain, even for a military veteran. Dalhousie professor Alice Aikens was a physiotherapist with the Canadian Armed Forces.
About 22% of Canadian women experience chronic pain, but about 50% of Canadian women veterans experience chronic pain.
And she calls last April's report pivotal.
Women have been underrepresented in health research for far too long. And also, women veterans have been underrepresented even in veteran health research.
The authors are calling for a coordinated pan-Canadian plan to address gaps in care, policies, and research into chronic pain.
So I had to go to one clinic, for example, for the physio, another one for chiro, another one for kinesiology.
The report calls for more one-stop shops to provide treatments more efficiently. And Aiken says while the gathering of data for women and women veterans is somewhat recent, a plan to collect and organize pain data will ensure the best care is offered to women and women veterans. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A new study has found a link between vaping and lung and heart function in young adults. The study, conducted by the University of Alberta, looked at people in their early 20s who have been using e-cigarettes or vapes for roughly 3 years. The study found a direct link to impaired lung function and potential exercise intolerance. Participants reported no cigarette or marijuana use and went through a traditional lung function test. Some of the participants showed normal lung function but did experience greater breathlessness during the exercise. Newborns and children at Erie Shores Healthcare will soon benefit from new specialized medical equipment. Thanks to a $56,000 grant from Windsor Essex Care for Kids Foundation. The funding will purchase an infant warmer for critical newborn care and a pediatric vein finder to make blood draws and IV procedures easier and less stressful for young patients. Priced out of housing still ahead. Why some Canadians are calling highway parking lots homes. While home ownership is out of reach for many Canadians, some are simply struggling to find an affordable place to rent. Now, that's led to some people taking up residence in highway carpool parking lots in trailers and RVs. CTV's Jeff Pickle has more on what experts describe as hidden homelessness.
The carpool parking lot is not much.
My backyard of sorts, I guess.
But for nearly a year, it's been home for George and his girlfriend.
Well, I was working, and then I suddenly lost work, and I couldn't pay my rent anymore. So it actually just started off with me just staying in my truck.
George's story is similar to so many others who find themselves without a home.
My girlfriend works landscaping, and then snow removal in the winter, and I just work on cars. Yeah, we're hoping to save up into some money to get first and last.
While still working, they say finding a place to rent has not been possible. George says the isolation of the parking lot keeps them safe from unwanted conflict.
The last spot that I was at, the neighbors did. I mean, you see all my windows, they're all still broken from them slinging rocks with a slingshot.
Across the lot, Debbie's situation very similar.
Well, we came here because the rent got boosted up so high since the COVID.
With her husband working full-time, she says the trailer is a good temporary solution.
I'm a lot luckier than other people. They're in their tents, and I got security of the cameras here, the lights. I got my generator for electricity. We can bath, we can shower, everything here. So it's a lot better than most places.
Those who park at the carpool parking lot say they don't mind and say they've seen George and his girlfriend working hard to keep the lot clean.
They constantly are picking up garbage. So yeah, it's good. It's not like there's no parking in the parking lot.
Both the OPP and the MTO say they are aware and monitoring the situation. Experts tell us this type of housing is more common than we may think.
We usually think about the people that we see on the street in an encampment on the sidewalk, but that's actually only the tip of the iceberg.
According to Day, it's the stability that makes this an attractive location.
A parking lot or something like that offers to people is a little bit of consistency and a little bit of stability where hopefully they're not being moved along every few days, and so they can kind of get settled and figure out what next steps are.
And while people like George and Deborah work towards a better situation,
there is some good people that is homeless too. Just every circumstance is out there. So there's really no other place to go for us. That's why we're here.
They are hopeful to remain where they are.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News.
Meanwhile, researchers in Montreal have created a digital platform designed to help seniors cope with anxiety and insomnia. CTV's Angela Mackenzie explains how it could soon be available free of charge.
Anxiety and insomnia often go hand in hand in older adults, but accessing treatment isn't always easy. Researchers with the Montreal University Geriatric Institute say treatments often address only one of these concerns, so they've developed a digital platform designed specifically for seniors. The platform uses cognitive behavioral therapy and can be accessed from a phone, tablet, or computer. It's a 7-week program with half-hour-long interactive sessions that include videos and tools in both French and English. The study's lead researcher says the platform fills a gap because there are barriers to accessing this type of therapy.
The delay, it's about 3 to 6 months to get access to the cognitive behavioral therapy. Due to limited numbers of therapists, but also the price. Sometimes people cannot afford the price to get access to the therapy. And also in older adults, they may have some lower mobility, which could be maybe easier for them to directly have access to the therapy from home and not having to move in person to be physically there for the session with a psychologist.
The platform has gone through the clinical trial phase and is still being studied. The researchers say trial participants saw a significant improvement in sleep and a marked reduction in anxiety. Up next, they're hoping to get long-term funding to make this platform free of charge to the public in 2027. Angela Mackenzie, CTV News.
U.S. President Donald Trump took in Game 3 of the NBA Finals in New York under tight security. As you can hear, thunderous boos rained down on Trump when he was shown on video screens during the American national anthem. Trump's attendance at the game triggered enhanced security screening. Fans with tickets had to endure wait times of 2 hours or more to enter the famed arena. Now it's almost time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. So Melanie, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, as the Gordie Howe Bridge prepares to open, we catch up with one of the people who fought to make it happen, former Windsor West MP Brian Massey.
We'll be right back.
Be there for a night of country hits with Jordan Davis, live from the Coliseum stage, Saturday, June 27th. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Jordan Davis at Caesars Windsor, plus a $200 gift card.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. It's the sweetest weekend of the year with a carnival, food, and local strawberries at the LaSalle Strawberry Festival this weekend at the Volmer Complex. See you next time on Our Community.
Okay, so Melanie, you've got more on our top story, of course, talking about the Gordie Howe Bridge and the big opening date.
That's right. In the shuffle to confirm the ribbon cutting and opening date, CTV News checked back in with former Windsor West MP Brian Massey, who helped champion the bridge project from its earliest days. Massey says after years of delays, it's a moment many in this region have been waiting for. He represented the riding at the Canadian foot of the bridge for 2 decades and says Windsor Essex has earned this milestone.
Putting up with congestion, traffic, pollution, the consequences of bad urban planning, being ripped off from having to pay for some of this infrastructure for decades upon decades upon decades is all part of this in terms of making our city beautiful, a good place to live and a good place for our future.
We've got full coverage on the new bridge at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a story online, Melanie, about the naming of a new park in Leamington.
Yes, Leamington Council will decide whether to name a downtown park in honor of migrant workers. A report recommends calling the 47 Erie Street South site Migrant Workers Square, recognizing decades of contributions to the local agriculture sector. If approved, a plaque and signage could be installed within the next few months. And in our social spotlight tonight, an unexpected fireworks show broke out in Tennessee. Wow, a truck hauling fireworks exploded, sending pyrotechnics into the sky on Saturday. The sparks stopped traffic in both directions for several minutes before the show was brought to an end. Thankfully, no one was injured.
Yeah, that could have been a very, very serious situation. We've done so many stories here about the dangers of fireworks, and yeah, it's unfortunate that happened, but luckily everyone is safe.
Yeah, absolutely. No one got hurt, so that's a good thing.
Okay, that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. Police are sworn to serve and protect. Apparently, that includes outsmarting snapping turtles, too. More wild moments when we return. Yeah, Gary, there was that one gentleman I interviewed along the riverfront today. Very, very unhappy with the humidity that we saw today.
Oh, sir. I mean, who are you going to blame between the two of us? Neither, right? It's weather, and it's going to unfold as such. We are in a warm streak, and we live in extreme southwestern Ontario, one of the warmest and most humid parts of the country. So there it is, with respects, of course. Now, the Intercure Styles forecast is showing and detailing the next few days averaging temperatures in the low 30s. We're in a heat warning, so there will be humidity to add to that, sir, and everyone else. It will feel like about 35 to 36 through the midday tomorrow in Chatham, Kent. 38 to 41 here, depending on the time in the afternoon, sir, and everyone else. So we're in it together, right?
Yes.
There you have it.
In that gentleman's defense, he's from Toronto, and he came down specifically.
Born and raised.
But he came specifically to visit the area. So
toughen up.
He's not happy.
Sure.
Ooh, okay,
My fellow Torontonian. I'm sure he can take it.
Let's switch over to Travis now. So Travis, tonight we're expecting an update. This is on a story that we first reported last month.
Yeah, that's right. Viewers will remember that shocking video of a dog attack in Amherstburg, a pair of Rottweilers going after an 11-year-old girl and her dog. Tonight, the town will host a meeting they've only held a handful of times before, a dangerous dog committee to discuss next steps. I also heard there's something going on with the bridge. We'll have the latest on that, too. All that tonight at 11.
Okay, thank you, Travis. Finally tonight, from robot karate gone wrong to a turtle tango with police, the internet delivered some wild moments this week. Here's Jeremy Roth.
A robot performance at a park in China had to be put on hold after a humanoid robot performing martial arts kicked a small child right in the stomach. According to state-run local media, the boy was not seriously hurt, but his parents did report the incident, which happened at a park in Xinjiang. The video quickly went viral on social media, with users commenting on everything from the child's welfare to the wig-wearing robot's colorful attire. There were also plenty of Terminator jokes predicting a doomsday robotic uprising. It's too soon to know if the robot apocalypse is afoot, but the kick did prompt the park to suspend the performance. Another act that was both limber and logic straining was caught on body cam when Florida Sheriff's deputies found a fugitive folded up inside of an HVAC unit. Flagler County officials said the man was wanted for failing to appear in court on other charges, and when they served a warrant for his arrest, they found him squished inside of an air handler unit, quote, like a contortionist auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. He was apprehended and could possibly face additional charges, but on the bright side, he seemed to be quite pleased with his performance. Finally, another cop nearly got outsmarted, not by a flexible fugitive, but by a twirling turtle. The Flowery Branch, Georgia officer was just trying to get this snapping turtle out of the roadway, but instead may have gotten dizzy as the reptile kept rotating away from his grasp. The cop was forced to do a little do-si-do to try and stay away from the bitey end of the reptile, and eventually got a grip and got the turtle relocated. The other officers on scene contributed by laughing at him the whole time. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Yeah, I think that police officer needs to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, the turtle was faster than him turning around in the circle.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to get bit by a snapping turtle.
No,
I don't know if
that's
that was
true.
a snapping turtle, but you don't want to get bit by anything, really.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true.
Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnews.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast at 11.
Good night.
Good night.